ladies and gentlemen. This is the first video that I make under the title Lens Satisfaction. It's pretty self-explanatory. I like to mention upfront that everything we see is a viewpoint, and everything we say is and hear is an opinion, and this is here not much different. Even so, I am trying to not be opinionated and not judge gear, but I'll talk about it. I wouldn't want to call this a review. Most manufacturers are working with teams of engineers, have excellent product, and sometimes it fits and sometimes it doesn't fit your needs, and you can wish for something to be different and say, hey, it is, but it shouldn't be or should be different. We don't want to go there. So today I start with a very exciting piece of equipment. I want to talk about the Canon lens. Obviously on a Canon camera, on a R6, we can talk about that one later. This reviews obviously are not going to be, or just very limited when it comes to technical information, but features and so on you might know already. I go through them briefly, so you may not need to reference, but you may want to cross-reference other videos. The Canon 1-500 is one of the lenses. I purchased this one. I had also the Sigma and the Tamron, the 600mm zooms, but they cannot really compete with this lens from Canon. The Canon lens is, and yet they are competing with it. The Canon lens is $2,600, $700, this one, and it comes with a lens hood. It has a little window there. It has a tight and smooth ring for zooming very lightly or zooming much more with friction. That also prevents lens creeping, very effective, but you still can zoom in a pinch. It's Canon. I mean, when it comes to sports and wildlife photography, I think that Canon is the top contender. So they have so many little know-hows. Anyway, this ring is very lovely. The zoom is perfect through the whole range. It's similar in friction. It's very good that way. This is what I mean. And it has these switches, full or limited range, autofocus or manual focus, stabilizer on and off, and then it has the 3 stabilizer modes: 1, 2, and 3. 1 is all the time, 2 switches off, the horizontal stabilization, and 3 just kicks the stabilizer in when you actually take the picture. I want to mention something. I'll show some pictures in this video of mine. I really love bird photography, but I sometimes do also videos on you could call them sports video, flying airplanes, model airplanes, and this one is the only one that really works stabilized good this way, but when I pan, doesn't create jerky motions, and that's the setting 2. The other gear I used couldn't really satisfy on that level. the picture quality of these top of the line Canon lenses RF, it must be second to none. I have a Leica camera, and Leica and lenses is one, and Canon and lenses must be one too. It's this is number one stuff, and it has this friction ring, the focus ring, and then it has a assignable ring down here. You can make it aperture or some other things, assign it in the camera. The stabilization on this lens works together with the in-camera stabilization, so you get a very effective way. Sometimes when you have it on one all the time, it's the stabilization is one thing, but it's also really acquiring and having your thing still enough to focus to get it, because it's very difficult on 500. A little shake is whoop whoop image in and out of the window, but if you have it on stabilization all the time, then it's in there more steady, much more steady. And until you get more routine, then you can experiment perhaps. There is not much to say other than this is an excellent lens, and if you just want the very best on your images, I guess you would rather see the lens than me, I feel. Then that's it. Everything is well made. There's no wobble. There's no play. I for a while I used the Olympus, and I had the 800mm. The 400 is 800 on Micro Four Thirds, but there was a slight wobble in it. Just does not really reflect quality very well. It's too much for me. But on the Canon, this is all very solid. This is, you touch it and you know this is a quality piece. This is lightweight. You still call it plastic, you know. It's but super precise, lighter than metal. Also, when you drop a metal lens, it may not be as resistant as a plastic lens. Metal can bend and all that stuff. This plastic stuff is fantastic. And when they zoom outside like this, then they get small when you have them all the way in for transport. When you have a lens that has an internal, then they're always big like that. I don't have it here yet. This lens offers extenders, but I have one coming. And the 1.4, then the lens only goes 300 to 700 was the 1.4. But I don't like this, but I don't have that yet. So this is the 100 to 500, and I am very much getting lens satisfaction with this one. The camera, we talk later about it. Fantastic stuff, no doubt. And what else can I say that may be of interest? So this is fully extended. It goes so very smooth and light. When you firm this up, then it's very good. See, it stays out. When you not, then well, anyway, it's very important that you have it firm when sometimes when you shoot, so it's not moving here. But what else? The lens hood is removable. It comes with it, and you can return it, turn it around like this for transport. And this is very compact, and it may even fit in in a large regular photo bag. I have a special bag that accommodates cameras with long lenses. It's a wonderful lens, and the price is for what it is in the category. Well, it's 2,500, 600, or 700. It's made in Japan, for whatever that's worth. And it's just gives you pictures, and this is very important. Also, it gives you wonderful pictures. It's a 7.1, and that gives you just enough depth of field, even that in wildlife, and the autofocus and everything is on 7.1. That's the maximum aperture of this lens here, or is it the minimum? But anyway, 7.5 is just fully extended, you know. Everything works fantastic and lightning fast, and very precise, which is necessary to get, you know, sharp pictures beside the optics. When you stop it down, it still works good on static objects, for sure. Bam, you have focus. Birds in flight, stop down. I haven't tried that enough, and the extender, I haven't tried that at all yet, but some people say it's just fine, and I believe it. It's also good. Good light. Well, what is that? But you need that for really anything. Good light gives good pictures. The dynamic of the light, shadow, that's all part of it. And if you have a good light, this lens produces excellent pictures. The sharpness, the RF mount, it's all first grade. Well, what else can I say? It's I have nothing that I would point out that is not good, except that you might have to wait a little until you get yours. They are on them making, but you might have. I had to wait quite a little bit until I got mine. Finally, I did, and everything from this one is a step down, unless you want to cough up $12,000 or $15,000 for not a zoom but a prime 600, for example, a 600mm prime from Canon. Then you don't have. Look, I mean, I can easily hold this just like this. This other stuff is all heavy. Even the Tamron and the Sigma Contemporary, they are heavy compared to this, and not only heavy, it's also how this lens is balanced. You know, you still have most of the weight back here, which allow even extended. The other lenses, boom, they're so top heavy. Then you have your arm way out, you know, and it's all heavier to operate and more difficult. This thing is very light, and very light is relative. It's not as light as a 50mm lens, and it's also bigger. But when we're talking about zoom lenses in that range, this is very light. It's almost like a new generation of glass, and wonderful to operate. It's the throw here is not too bad. You know, if you go one step, you can certainly operate it good in these ranges. But that comes just with Canon's experience. When you buy a product, the experience of these manufacturers and the quality of their experience flows into it. So Canon is really that good to me. And the money, well, that's always such a thing, isn't it? Well, what can you say about money? Things cost what they cost, and yes, I would like a lens like this for $100. Anybody would, but it's just not what is. It costs over $2,000, and then what do? You enjoy tremendously the quality you get, or is your measure of value the money you can make with something? This is all some possibility. The equipment itself is probably for wildlife, sports, action, top of the line. This is Canon. I can talk about the camera next. I have also a Nikon gear. I by the way filmed this on Nikon. I have other lenses that we can talk about. This was about the 100-500 from Canon, and man, that is a good lens. Hard to beat. The next step would be probably over 10,000 to get a similar thing going. Now, I do mind you that the differences are very subtle at a certain quality level, but they are there, and it's not that you get blurry pictures with a Tamron 600mm, but they're a little soft. With the Canon, no, they are not soft. If your subject is close enough and you're not overworking the lens, then bingo. So here I am, lens satisfaction. Please give us thumbs up and subscribe. I would love to talk more about these lenses. My experience. You know, it is so important to let you know. My expertise touches, and I hardly want to call this expertise, but it touches sports and wildlife, product photography. That's how I make my living in a way, and in these two genres, I touch most with my photography, and that's where my know-how lies, in all its limitations or in all its depths. I am loving to learn new things, and if you have good suggestions, and yeah, please enlighten me. So again, you know, wildlife and sports and product macro, it's not the typical macro, because for product photography, and I'll show you a couple of pictures here also in that video towards the end here, it's that's where I spent most of my photographic time. Photographers that are doing portraits or things like that, you know, there's a different set of expertise. different set of lenses used, a different knowledge and know-how collected. So mine lies again in sports and nature of the birds, especially to photograph, and product photography. So I talk to you soon. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.